Hey buddies, welcome to another Weird Blues Tales. Hey buddies, welcome to episode 11 of Weird Blues Tales, where I tell you true stories about weird stuff that actually happened to me. Well, I play a little improv guitar for you. Every once in a while I'll throw in a little piece of a cover just to have something to do with the story and hope maybe you can pick it off. It's pretty much in every episode. But anywho, today I'm telling you about the Silver Plume house. And it was the last haunted house I lived in. I lived in 3. I've already told you about the first 2. So, go back and check those out. That would be episode 7 and 8 were about the Lincoln house. And I believe, I can't remember the name of the episode. Anyway, Child in a Haunted House is the other one. It's back there. You can find it with the thumbnail. But anyway, we had to move to Silver Plume. And it was a bizarre set of circumstances. I lived in that Lincoln house for 16 years. And, even though it was as bizarre as it was, I liked it there. I put a lot of time and money into the backyard and whatnot, and it was just like perfect for me. But there was a big flood hit Boulder, and they lost 1,500 homes, completely demolished, and 10,000 were not livable. And people died. I can't remember how many, but people died. And it's really bad. But the greedy landlords doubled and tripled the rents. Because there was 100,000 people displaced. And they had money. They were from Boulder. Most of them. So, yeah. My rent was $850 a month for 16 years. All of a sudden, they wanted $1450. I just couldn't pay that. My buddy John, he moved into a place. And he was paying this little tiny place, 30 feet by 30 feet. And there was a bathroom off that, but the kitchen was inside that 30 by 30. Okay, and he was paying $900, and they were going to raise it to 12. So yeah, you can do that. Anyway, we got this realtor, and he was charging us $50 to $100 for background checks on each individual place we applied for. And we thought he was robbing us. We checked it out. Nah, they were all doing that. You would think that they could just do it one time, have a copy of it, and pass it around, right? Nah. So it was expensive just to apply. All right. So, 3 or 4 months, we still haven't found a place. Finally, I get an eviction notice. I'm supposed to be out the 1st of May. And this is the middle of April. The realtor calls us up. So, got this place for you. I think it'll suit your needs perfect. And we go check it out, and it was awesome. It did suit our needs perfectly. It was beyond what we ever thought we would find. And it was just like perfect. Okay, so we get, we're making plans and doing stuff so we can move into this place. We give the realtor the deposit money, and we're all stoked. And a week before we're supposed to move in, the realtor calls us up. He tells us we can't move in. Why? Sewer exploded. There's like 4 or 5 inches of sewage all over the basement. And the basement was finished. It was really nice. So I'm like, hey, I own a janitorial company. We'll go on, let us move in. We'll clean it up. No. When can we move in? Well, contractor doesn't even think he could start on it until like September or October. Yeah. But I'm going to give you guys the next place that comes available that suits your needs. I'm going to give you first dibs on it. I'm going to get you in a place. Yeah. Okay. I got a week. So April 30th, we got no place. It's about 11 o'clock at night. I'm praying. This guy never called me. I'm praying like a madman. About 11 o'clock, I get this phone call. And it's a caregiver driver. This guy that takes care of this patient of mine. She's a beautiful lady. She's just beautiful. I haven't seen her in a while, but she was awesome. And anyway, this guy calls me up, and I hear you're looking for a place to move. Yeah. Well, do you mind living out of town? How far? 45 minutes? Oh, no problem. I mean, just driving from one part of the metro area to another can take you 45 minutes to an hour. So, being able to go out of town and live out of town, yeah. So he tells us about Silver Plume. Check it out. It's beautiful. And so we do all the paperwork. We move in. It's just like perfect for us, like 4 bedrooms, jacuzzi, 2 big bathrooms. I can't estimate like acreage or anything, but it was a lot of property. I don't know, like 5-6 acres, something like that. And we're on top. Okay, Silver Plume is at about 9,000 feet above sea level. Well, we were at the highest place you could build a house. So we were at about 10,000 feet. All right, so the air was a little thin, but had a bear on the property. Like I said, about 5 or 6 acres, and it was like a hill, it was forested, and the property on the east side abutted the old Silver Plume Cemetery. So every once in a while, people would come up there and go like on a tour for the cemetery. I mean, it was all trees, and it wasn't like what you always picture a cemetery as, all open with grass. It's like, nah, it was in the forest, and it had rows of tombstones. They were, lined up, but they were like in between the trees. There was quite a few people buried there, and had stuff going back to the, late 1800s. So people come up there and do that. But the bear was really cool. He would go over to the next door neighbors and drag their trash over into our yard and eat it. There was an ordinance saying you could only bring your trash out on the day they're going to pick it up. But this group of ladies down there would not abide by the rules. And they would stack it, and the trash can would fill up, and they would just stack it next to it, and just pile it up, and it's like, oh yeah. The bear would go over there, drag it, and then eat it in our yard. So we kept having to clean up after him. But other than that, it was like really cool. We were surrounded by national forest. You just step out the door and go for a walk in the woods. It was really cool. It had a study. The study had a fireplace, and the other side of the fireplace was the dining room. So it was like a dual fireplace, so we could, burn wood if you wanted to heat the house up if we wanted, and we did sometimes. So we're there like maybe a week, and I set up my equipment to play guitar. My big amp, um, two 12s, Black Widow and a Scorpion for all you guitar players out there. A 400 watt old PV tube amp. It was awesome. Anyway, set it up, plug in my Les Paul. I'm sitting, and I'm 2-3 feet from the speaker, and I'm jamming away. And all of a sudden, moaning starts coming out of the speakers. Oh God. All right, so I start talking to the speaker. Hey, I've been living in a really weird house for 16 years, and I just don't need any more grief or weird stuff happening, okay? So if you could just really leave me alone, I would be so grateful. Please, just leave me alone. And it stops. Cool, so I play on. So about a week, well, maybe 2 weeks later, I'm in there playing. I'm in the study, and the two big doors, it's got two big doors that open like this, and they've got glass on them, so you can see, But anyway, the doors are closed. I'm in there, I'm playing, and all of a sudden I feel on my shoulder. I turn around and look, nobody there, and the doors are closed. All right, so about 8 months later, I'm getting ready to go to sleep. I'm just right in that place where you're just starting to fall asleep, but you're still a little bit awake, And I hear open my eyes, and the door is closed. But through the door came this woman with long black, wavy, I wouldn't say curly, but wavy hair, jet black, and she's wearing like a purplish nightgown. It goes down to her knees. And she flies. She's like about 4 feet off the ground. And she comes, at the foot of my bed, comes around to the left side of the bed. She flies around me. I'm watching all this, right? She flies around in a circle, and then she lines up. She gets over the top of me, and she pulls the blankets down, and she straddles me. Succubus. Never had one of those before that I remember. Anyway, I rebuked her. I evoked the name of the Lord, and I rebuked her, and she disappeared. And I had some of the most, three distinct lucid dreams when I was there. These were definitely dreams, but they were lucid. One was I was in the Arctic, in the water. I started panicking, I'm in the middle of nowhere. The only thing that's lighting us up is the Aurora Borealis, right? And I'm like, I'm going to die. There's no place to swim. And, all of a sudden these killer whales popped up around me and started sort of communicating with me and telling me everything was going to be okay, not to worry. They were going to take care of me. It was all right. So there was these kind of dreams, right? But they were so real. Yeah, I had 3 of them. Anyway, so around the same time, my drummer, Lou, who'd had a heart attack 2 years earlier and we couldn't play anymore, calls me up and said he was ready to play. He'd been practicing. He had the stamina. He could do it. So I make arrangements with John. He's going into town to work. And I drop him off at work in his car. My Jeep was broke down. And drove with my amp and my guitar over to Lou's. We have a great jam. I go pick up John. we're driving up I-70. It's an incline from Denver to Silver Plum. It's incline on I-70. And we're driving up there, and it starts snowing hard. Big flakes. I mean, it's raining cigarettes. Okay? I mean, but I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I just had this good jam. I hadn't played with anybody in like 2 years. And yeah, it was great. We get up there. John goes in. He lets his 2 dogs out, his 2 pit bulls, Pinky and Mishka. And they're running up, by the cemetery. And I'm going to go cover my plants from the snow. The plants were still outside in October. Yeah, don't let anybody tell you can't grow at high altitudes or in the mountains. That's bunk. Anyway, had to go up there and throw some tarps over it. And about, 15 feet from the dirt road, there was like a little ditch, a dry riverbed type thing, but it was just for runoff and stuff, But there was still ice in it. And when I was crossing it to go up the hill to the plants, I made note that, hey, that's a little slick there. There's a couple of spots about this big that are slick, like 2. So, try to avoid those when you come back, but, be careful. So I throw the tarps over my plants and a fence over it, and so, they were suspended above everything. And walking back, John's to the east of me, between me and the cemetery. He's got the dogs. They're running around, having a good time. They've been in the house all day, right? For like over 12 hours. They were good dogs. And we are just, enjoying this first snow of the year, and dogs are frolicking, and I come to the ditch, and I stoop down, and I start duck walking, like Groucho Marx or Chuck Berry. I don't know if you've ever seen them duck walk, but they crouch, and their butt's about 18 inches, 2 feet off the ground, and they're walking. Okay, so I do that. And I'm actually walking sideways. Okay, I'm facing west. I'm headed south. All right, and I'm duck walking. Okay, slowly. All of a sudden, I feel something grab my neck, grab my butt, throw me up in the air, and then slam me onto this big boulder. It wasn't like a smooth boulder either. It had all kinds of like jaggedness on it, and yeah. On my left side. John sees this. At first I thought maybe the dogs did it. It was just a split second thought, right? I thought maybe the dogs did it. But the dogs were around him. In fact, when the dogs saw me, they went and cowered around John's legs. And John's standing there with his mouth open. I can't talk. I think the air's knocked out of me. And so I start doing these exercises I learned, and it's not working. And then I feel my chest, and I realize this is my lung. My lungs collapsed. So it took me about 10 minutes of doing Sun Chi breathing to get my lung inflated. And when I did, I let out a scream that was like a 5-6-year-old little girl. I'm not saying little girls are wimpy, but that pitch and the volume, they heard me all up and down the valley. I mean, I couldn't recreate it now. This is the most painful injury I'd ever had, and that's saying something, okay? John comes over, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. He says, you want to go to the hospital? I looked really bad. And I'm like, yeah, my lung was collapsed. And, are you going to be okay? I'm like, yeah, I'll just soak in the jacuzzi. I'll be okay. I'll be all right. No worries. I had some pain med from my other injuries. So I took some pain med, got in the jacuzzi. After about an hour, I started feeling better. And I got into bed about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I start coughing up blood. Not good. So I wake John up about 4 o'clock in the morning. Usually he gets up at 5 he usually gets up at 4:30 and leaves for work by 5 so he can be there by 6, okay? But yeah, I'm coughing up blood. I'm thinking about it. The pain's getting worse. So I wake him up about 3:45. John, I'm coughing up blood, man. And take me to the hospital, So we go to the hospital. We go to Porter. Well, I wasn't really thinking. I had like cargo pants on, and so I had these pockets, and I carried a little pipe that I made myself. This pipe right here. I don't know if you see it, but it's made out of stone. It's carved out of catlinite. I did it myself. And it's for medicinal purposes. Anyway, I get to the ding-danged hospital, and security starts hassling me like I'm going through the airport or something. And they pat me down, they find my pipe, they find my lighter, which I wasn't hiding, it's legal. You got to throw these in the trash. Why? You got to throw them in the trash. I'm like, why don't you just, hold them for me and, no, you got to throw them in the trash. Or you can call somebody, have them come get them. He talks to his supervisor. So it's like 5:30 in the morning. I don't know anybody up that early. But I try calling a few people and nobody's answering. And I'm outside in the snow, walking up and down with this bad injury. And finally, because they could see me walking up and down in the windows. I'm walking like 30, 40 feet because it hurt to stand still and it was snowing. So I was trying to keep warm and think of something. I'm calling them on the phone, right? Trying to call people and stuff to have them help me. And yeah, nobody's answering. So I finally just hid the pipe in my butt crack. Not inside, but, by my pants. So they searched me again. They took the lighter, threw that in the trash. And, what made him do that was this doctor saw me walking up and down, this lady doctor. And she's like, why is that guy walking up and down, in the snow out there? I can tell he's in a lot of pain. They tell her story, and she's like, shit, bring that guy in. Well, yeah, I was going for the stash in the pipe plan, and wasn't sure that was going to work. But they brought me in. The lighter was still in my pocket. They threw that away, but they didn't find the pipe. So she took me back into the examining room, and they wheeled in a x-ray machine. I was hurting. Like I told you, this was the most pain I'd ever been in my life. I passed 3 kidney stones at home before, 3 separate occasions. So this was 10 times worse than that. I mean, literally. Okay? So they bring in an x-ray machine into my room. And the x-ray, I had 4 completely broken ribs, 5 fractured ribs, and one of the ribs had poked my lung. I did have a punctured and collapsed lung. So they gave me a couple of shots for pain. They told me there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. We can't cast it or anything. You just got to go home and lay down flat for 8 weeks to 8 months. We didn't really even have TV. And I wasn't doing YouTube or anything like that then because I thought it cost money. So John took pity on me and got Fire Stick TV. This was awesome. It was like $60 a year or something, and you got like all these pay channels. It was really cool. But yeah, I ended up laying down for about 3 months. And still, I mean, people see me like go to like the doctor's office or something, because I didn't go anywhere except at the doctor's office. They would see me walking towards them from like 100 feet, 200 feet away, and they would just go, "Dude, are you okay? You look like you're gonna die." And it's because of the look on my face and my color, and yeah, I mean, there was like, tears in my eyes. I mean, they could spot this at a distance that I was hurting bad. And so, yeah, I mean, they took care of me. They got me a lot of, proper pain meds and stuff like that. But yeah, without John, I would have been way screwed. Both because he took care of me during that time, and got the Fire Stick TV, and yeah, but I started crying like right after it happened. And John had never seen me cry, right? And he's, "Dude, I was hurt that bad." I'm like, "No, dude. Like, we just got the band back together. I just got Lou going. I just got Lou going today. And now, who knows when I'm going to be able to play. Now I'm the guy out." So, I mean, that was like bummer and depressing and whatnot. But John took good care of me. And, the ghost grabbed me, threw me in the air, and slammed me on that boulder. They tried to kill me since I was a kid. See Child in a Haunted House in episode 7 to 8 of Weird Blues Tales. But yeah, I mean, something grabbed me and I was literally 10 feet in the air. I wrote this story up for Mr. E, and he read it. It's in a 3-story thing that I wrote for him called Things That Shouldn't Have Happened But Happened Anyway. And he does a really fine job on all 3 stories. So, check that out because, yeah, he does a really good job. But anyway, I mean, the official story is, because I told the doctor what I just told you, right? She wrote down, "Slipped on the ice." So, yeah, the official story is I slipped on the ice. So, there you go. Thank you for joining me for episode 11 of Weird Blues Tales. And I hope to see you for the next one, episode 12. Please check out my channel. I got a lot of content on there. It's just not Weird Blues Tale. There's other guitar playing. There's landscape. There's archaeology videos I filmed when I went to Turkey last year of Göbekli Tepe and the real Noah's Ark and stuff like that. There's church music videos. Kind of like 159 videos on there. So check those out. I'm not monetized or anything, but I do enjoy the views. I get less than 100 usually on most videos. I mean, I get over that, a few times, but not that often. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope you check out my channel, and I hope you take care of each other. Have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you next time for another Weird Blues Tales.